This is Jackie, and I'm here with Angelica Garcia at Baltimore's Metro Gallery. Today is Record Store Day. What records have you picked up so far today?
We got a Moog quartet, so that was pretty cool. And then we got a blues record. I can't remember at the top of my head. Pretty old one from like the 30s or something like that.
Hopefully time for more shopping in a little bit.
Yeah. We kind of went in like the used bin, so like you never know what you're going to get. It's just a bunch of like hidden treasure kind of stuff. Yeah.
Speaking of hidden treasures, you sort of moved from LA, uprooted everything, moved to Virginia. What about that move affected you the most?
I think the first thing that kind of hit me was the solitude, because you're going from like a super busy city with art and music everywhere to living in the middle of nowhere and just like having yourself to keep your own company and occupy yourself. But it ended up being the best thing for me, because then from that point on I was like, okay, well, all that time that I would have spent somewhere else, I'm going to put it into music. And so that kind of helped me write my songs and figure out what I wanted to sound like and what I wanted to do and all that stuff. So, yeah.
So how did the house inspire your songwriting?
Well, it's this 200-year-old dinosaur, and it's gigantic, made of all brick. It was a station for the Union troops during the Civil War. So I don't know if there's anything I can like say just like quickly, is just that it was full of all these vibes. And I couldn't help but be inspired by like thinking of all the people that had passed through those halls and all the people that had lived there and put all their time and energy there, and it kind of just made me want to write more and more. So,
and that writing can be found on last year's album, Medicine for Birds.
Yeah.
What song on the album best represents your overall sound?
If I had to pick one, probably Little Bird, I think. It's the one that's like kind of weird, and someone said weird and wonderful, so.
I would agree with that. I think that's a great description.
Yeah. So I think it's like, it's playful, it's like kind of scary, it's a little rockin', so I don't know. Yeah, kind of that.
I would agree with that. So what was the songwriting process like for you? You're sort of by yourself for the most of it.
Yeah, so, some songs, music came first, some lyrics came first. I like to really emphasize lyrics in all of my songs. So I put extra time into just like making sure like, oh, is that the right way to word something? Should I say it in another way? I don't know. But definitely making the demos for those songs like on my laptop at home before I got signed or anything. It was very DIY, like just, oh, I don't have a drum kit, I'm just gonna start banging on tables and, headboards or whatever. And I didn't even have an electric guitar at the time, so I was just like trying to figure out what tones and sounds I liked, but trying to mimic it later with all these other studio instruments. It was pretty crazy. It was a whirlwind doing everything.
Did any of those DIY sounds make it onto the album?
Yeah, you know what? There's actually a harmonica track on Devil Can Get In that is me playing. Like, I think that Charlie, the producer, Charlie Peacock, I think he was able to like sync up some of like the shoebox drumming for Devil Can Get In too. So there are some like little elements still there. The Wurlitzer for Tangerine is still there. I don't know, like all that kind of stuff that I was working on at home, I guess.
So your voice is really big yet ethereal. How do you sort of make both things happen, and what sort of messages do you hope fans gain from your album?
Both things. What do you mean?
Well, you have such a unique voice, and you use it to kind of make these great messages. So, what are some messages you hope fans receive?
Well, thank you. I guess like writing that album really was just a very healing process for me through loneliness and like all these kinds of things that were happening in life at the same time, growing up, everything. So I guess it was just kind of my hope that the album would be medicinal, if you will, for like other people that were going through a difficult scenario. And it's also about like finding the courage to be yourself and stuff like that, and kind of just going boldly out into the world and saying like, well, somebody's got to do it, and I'm going to eventually have to do it at some point, so I might as well just do it now. Yeah.
Right on. So being bold today is not only Record Store Day, it's also Earth Day. Tell us about your new song, Not a Pipeline. What inspired that?
Yeah, so there's been like this crazy political climate and a lot of things changing, and definitely many things not for the better. And so I guess I wanted to, voice out this story for the Sioux Nation at Standing Rock. Basically, I wanted to write a song for them to just kind of like raise awareness about the Dakota Access Pipeline, and just really say something, because without water, like, none of us would be here. And it's important to me, and it's important to all of us to take care of the planet, to take care of other human beings. So Not a Pipeline is for the Great Sioux Nation, and I guess I kind of wanted to help in the way that I knew that I could,
Excellent way to. So what's inspiring your songwriting now?
Now, it definitely has been inspired a lot by my move to Richmond, Virginia, and growing and attaching myself kind of to the music scene over there, and meeting other like amazing artists that have inspired me as well. I know that the next album, I'm working on it now, it's heavily inspired by my Latin background. So you've got like some percussiveness, and the lyrics kind of play with that too, but it's still like fun, and it's definitely a lot more rockin', so we'll see what happens next.
Looking forward to it. So what's up next for you after this tour?
After this tour, I'm really gonna just kind of like latch down and start working on recording, and hopefully we'll get some new music out before too long. So yeah.
Well, stay tuned for much more from Angelica Garcia. This is Jackie, thanks to Chorus FM and One Avenue TV.